Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Yeah, we're gonna do Pool 2 today. The good thing about it is that Pool 2 is not like Pool 1 or Pool 3. It's not that many cards, you know? So I can put a little bit more time and effort into each and one of those cards, you know, just to give you a little bit of an insight how they work, what you can pair them up with, in what decks they're good. Because when I jumped out of Pool 1 going into Pool 2, it was a lot of fun because there were such new types of you know, decks that opened up to me, and they were just more interesting, especially when it goes to control. So Pool 2 has some insane control cards, probably even the best control cards in the game right now. So we're gonna be talking about those. I'm just gonna go just by order. We have Agent here. We're gonna go all the way down to the Winter Soldier. I kind of am gonna do Bucky Barnes and the Winter Soldier together because they're one card. If you destroy Bucky Barnes, you're gonna get the Winter Soldier. So I'm gonna just, I don't know why they did it like this. I don't know, but whatever. Let's start off with Agent 13. So basically what Agent 13 does is give you another card. It does pair very well with the Collector. Where is he? I think he's in Pool 2 too. There he is. So that's a nice synergy. So if you have the Collector out and you play Agent 13, you're going to get a card, and the Collector is going to get one power to himself. I personally think Agent 13 is a card that people do play quite often, and I do have a few decks with her as well, but I don't think that the payout is that good, because every time you like get a card and you have a specific deck and you're waiting, like if you, I'm just saying, if you have like some sort of an Exodia deck, which means you have to have a certain amount of cards in the right order to have a very powerful play, you're going to mess that up with Agent 13. But of course, you wouldn't play Agent 13 in an Exodia deck, makes sense. But in general, I would place her into the C tier, into the B tier. It's a very classic, standard, you know, balanced card. But I'm gonna keep her in C now. I'm gonna be changing probably this tier list later on, and just to see how things are gonna go. Agent 13 is not a bad card, don't get me wrong, it really isn't. But there are better one-cost cards in my eyes. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep her in, I don't know, I'm gonna keep her actually in B tier because she's not bad. She's not a C, you know, C is like kind of already pretty bad, right? So I'm just gonna keep her in the B tier. We're gonna talk about Bucky Barnes, and that is a straight A. It's not a S tier, but it's a really good card because you literally run every destroyer deck, and I don't mean the card destroyer, I mean like every destroyer deck, you run Bucky Barnes in there. When he gets destroyed, the Winter Soldier is gonna come out of it. A 2/6 card is actually pretty good, and you can always pair Bucky Barnes with any sort of destruction. If you have Venom, if you have you know, just different cards, Carnage. It's a very, very nice combination to have in a destroyer deck. It's kind of a must-have. He's not an S tier card. I'm not gonna go like, wow, he's like super crazy good, but yeah, I'm gonna keep Bucky Barnes and the Winter Soldier in an A class. In the A class, just because, you know, it's a good card, but it's not overly crazy overpowered. Then we have Cloak. I think Cloak is a B to C tier, and there's a reason why. I mean, obviously, first of all, Cloak is only played in movement decks as of now. Movement decks are not so strong currently in the meta. They need a buff. They honestly need a buff. I really hope that the next season pass that we're gonna get might have something to do with movement. Because in general, movement decks are fun. They're fun to play, but they are just, you know, you can win games with it, don't get me wrong. You can definitely win games, and you can get into high ranks with movement decks. It works until it doesn't anymore, you know? So I personally like playing movement decks, but, you know, oh, sorry. Yeah, Cloak is a pretty good card in a movement deck, especially with, you know, paired with Dagger. Cloak and Dagger, might know the series, might not. It's a really nice synergy. You have some other synergies then as well. For example, Vulture. Every time Vulture is going to get moved, he's going to get powered. So, you know, Cloak can really help out a lot. The only downside why I don't think it's an A tier card is if you can move, your opponent can move your cards there as well. So, I mean, you can do some mind games with it. You can play Cloak and literally don't move a card at all, and you might actually make your opponent move cards to a place where you kind of tricked him or her into it or whatever, right? But That's the downside I believe Cloak has to offer, because everybody can literally move their cards to that specific location. Now, Ebony Maw is a little bit like, I don't know, it's a hate-love relationship. I think you can really build up something crazy with Ebony Maw. In general, you can literally do like a 10 or even higher you know, location, but the only downside with Ebony Maw is that you can't play other cards afterwards there anymore, unless you have pool 3 cards like, for example, Dr. Doom, or let's see, I think we also have from pool 1, I just made a video about it, the wolves that jump over. I forgot the name. I completely have a black hole in my mind right now, probably gonna think about it later on when I watch the video. And I always want to say Wolfsbane, but it's not. That's the issue. I have the card in my head right now, but I just don't know the name. But you guys know the wolves that are gonna jump over. Really strong with Mongers as well. Is it even wolves? I have no idea. Alright, so I think he's a B tier. He could be better, and if you have really good play styles with Ebony Maw, let's for example say if you play Invisible Woman, for example, which is also a pool 3 card, she's gonna cloak the entire location, which means the other cards are not gonna be opened, so you can actually play Ebony Maw afterwards and some other strong cards, and then they, at the end of the turn, at the end of all of the turns, at the end of the game, the cards are gonna be open, and then you can use Ebony Maw as well. So he's you know, you can do stuff with him. People rank him like into the A and S tier, but I'm just gonna rank pool 2 like I did with pool 1, and I think for pool 2 he's a B tier character. I think if you have him in pool 3 or view him in general, I think he's an A tier character, but I'm gonna keep it in B. I'm gonna do Hobgoblin in an A tier. He's a really good card. He's really annoying, but he is also very much countable in with a pool 1 card, and that is Odin. Every time I do this, it's so much fun. If somebody really sends me a Hobgoblin, I actually had this match, it was 2 days ago, where I had the Green Goblin, which is a pool 3 card, cost 3, -3, sends it over like Hobgoblin, the same. And somebody sent me Hobgoblin as well, and I just played Odin, and all of these cards jump back to the location, and it was just hilarious, and it's just so much fun. The thing is, why I don't think Hobgoblin is an S+ character, just because, you know, he's very countable with a pool 1 card that many people have. Many people play Odin, and that's why I don't think he's an S tier character, but I think he's definitely better than the balanced out B tier. He's a really good card. He's annoying as hell. He's really, really annoying, so I'm gonna put him into the A tier. Iceman is gonna go into A tier as well. Some people put him even into S tier, which I personally think is too much. But Iceman is basically run in so many decks in turn 1. It's insane. Many people, you know, use... yeah, many people use Iceman in so many decks. Basically, what he only does is freeze a card and give it +1. In my case, I personally always get hit when I really hope Iceman is not gonna drop, but every time Iceman is dropped, it's always gonna hit a card that I need, and it's gonna be bumped up +1. I don't know, I guess it's just my luck. That's why I'm gonna put him in A tier. Some people might put him into B tier, but I think he is one of the more used and one of the more stronger cards in the game. Now, this might be very controversial to you. I'm gonna put Jubilee into B tier just because there's a lot of things that can go wrong. Many people would put Jubes into S tier. I understand this. It's a really good card. But for pool 2, personally, I mean, I'm just viewing pool 2 again. I think she's a B tier character because there's not much. The only thing that would really make sense is bringing in the Infinite with Jubilee, right? But that chance of happening is always very slim. It had happened to me before. I would actually, maybe let's just bring her into the A tier. I don't think she's S tier in pool 2 just because, you know, but you know, yeah, she's better than B, but she's not better than A. I don't think so. You guys can change my mind in the comment section below if you think that Jubilee is an S tier card. Now, I personally am gonna put Killmonger into S tier because Killmonger is just a card that you know, has so much potential in destroying and controlling. For me personally, anything that is controlling is either A or S tier. Although you might argue that Cloak is also controlling, but it's controlling for both sides. That's why I'm not really gonna put this in there. Iceman is definitely controlling and he's an A tier. It's more like disruption, but Killmonger can take out so many pool 1 and pool 2 players, it's unreal. So later on in pool 3, I don't think Killmonger is much more of a, you know, really strong guy in here, but Killmonger can literally take out Sunspot if he's not protected, and Sunspot is also an insane pool 2 card, right? So for me personally, I think I've done so many crazy and good plays with Killmonger where I played him, and this is the most important thing for everybody to know. Don't play him before turn 6. This is such a mistake. What so many newbies out there, they do that and they do this mistake, and it's just really not smart. You know, throwing out one of the best controlling cards in the game. For example, when I see somebody ramping up their Kazar, ramping up their Blue Marvel, and I don't see any cards at all, I know that he's going to play Ultron, which is a pool 3 card that is going to fill all of the other locations with one Ultron bots. I know that this is gonna happen, so I'm gonna smack it down. Obviously, I have to see who's gonna draw first, me or him. But if it's him, I'm gonna smack down a Killmonger and destroy his all ones ever, always. Same goes with another Kazar and Blue Marvel deck, because, you know, people play Kazar deck. This is the most deck played in Marvel Snap, which is Kazar Blue Marvel, right? This is the most played deck in the game. So, yeah. Killmonger definitely disrupts that. You know, basically you win with Killmonger in your hand when people play a lot of one-cost cards. And sadly, that happens a lot in Pool 1 and Pool 2. So, you know, win-win. Play him in turn 6. Trust me, very, very OP. Leech is the meta. I'm gonna put him right here. I'm gonna do a few readjustments, if I may. Just real quickly. There we go, there we go, there we go. I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna do this and that. Yeah. All right. So I'm just trying to make an order here because I think Jubilee could go into S tier. Iceman could go into S tier at one point. Leech is the meta right now. People figured out to play Leech in turn 4. You know, that is absolutely insane. That is really crazy, guys. Leech, what Leech does is that Leech is going to basically freeze or take away every effect, all of your cards in your hand. You know, Leech is going to take them all, wipe them all out. Basically, you just have cards left without effects. So it's a very strong turn 4, absolutely meta destroying turn 4 is Leech. As of now, probably even, maybe even one of the best cards in the game, next to Galaxus and next to Thanos and next to all of the other cards. In Pool 2, also in Pool 2, even though you can only play him on turn 5, I believe Leech is really, really strong. He might be the next card that is going to get nerfed in Marvel Snap. Alright, Morbius. For me, Morbius is a very strong card. I would put him probably somewhere around here in Pool 2. If we view the entire game, I would bring him up here somewhere because he's really good with MODOK, he's really good with Mystique, he's really good with so many cards out there. Morbius is a really, really strong card. I'm not going to put him in Pool 2 as a S tier class card. I'm going to put him into A tier because, you know, how many cards can you destroy in Pool 2? 1 and 2. It's very difficult to destroy if you only are in Pool 2. So I just don't think he's that viable. I'm just going to put him right at the end here. He's almost going to drop down to B. That's just because he's not so viable when you only have Pool 1 and Pool 2 cards. But when you get into the later ranks, if you can get MODOK and all of these other really high class cards, I think Morbius is really, really, really strong. And he should go at least into the front line, into A tier, maybe even into S, but I'm gonna keep him at the end of A. I might actually drop him down into B, into the first place of B. Actually, you know what, I'm gonna keep him there right now, but then we will see later on, I might actually switch my mind. We have Nakia. All of the left side cards in your hand are gonna get boosted +2 or +1, I don't know. I think she's a very solid card. People play her, actually sometimes. She's not, you know, being played that often anymore. I think she got a nerf or she got a buff, I don't remember. But I've never played her. I don't have her in my deck. You know, I'm almost CL 2600 and I've never played her. I have her. The same goes with Okoye. The same thing. I'm gonna put them right next to each other. I think Okoye is a little bit better because she buffs the entire deck instead of Nakia, because Nakia is just gonna go with the left cards on the left side on your hand. And I think Okoye is better because she, especially in pool 2, it's gonna help out a lot. I think she buffs the entire deck, and that's why I'm gonna put her into the first place, into the balanced B tier. She's almost an A tier. Now, let's come to Rhino. Rhino is another B tier card. I think he's really good because he destroys locations. We have, what's her name? Scarlet Witch, who actually changes a location and it can still change into a worse one. So I think Rhino's actually better than Scarlet Witch because he just destroys it. And there's no chance of getting another crazy weird location that you don't want, because there's a lot of bad locations coming into Marvel Snap. So I think he's actually better than Nakia. He's better. He's also a controlling card, some sort, you know, of some sort. If there's something you don't like, you can switch it up with Rhino, but in pool 1 and 2 it doesn't really matter that much. But I think he's a really good card, actually. I think he's a really good card, and he might actually, in pool 2 only, he might be more useful than Morbius. I'm gonna put him above Morbius just because I think he's more... Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put him all the way up here. I think he's more useful than all of these cards in here in pool 2 only, right? We're just talking about pool 2, where I think he's just very good. You guys might not you guys think I'm talking complete BS, and that's absolutely fine, you know? But, yeah. Alright, so let's talk about Sabretooth. He's gonna go into the B tier as well. Sabretooth is a card that is gonna get destroyed, and then you get it onto your hand. I think it might actually buffs itself. I don't remember fully. It's gonna be run in many Destroyer decks. Especially in pool 2, you will run Sabretooth quite a bit, and I think I'm gonna put him behind Rhino. I have to do a few changes here. I think I'm gonna boost up Ebony Maw on 1 point, because I just think he's better than Nakia currently, because you have a bit more possibilities. By the way, don't play Ebony Maw in turn 1. Always play Ebony Maw in turn 3. If you want to, so you can literally put a one cost card before him and a 2 cost card before him, and you can get like a location that's like 12, 13, 14 in power. So I just recommend that. Sandman is absolutely S tier right now. He's gonna go right next to Leech. Sandman is really strong. He got changed to a 5/5 card, so he's not a 4/1 anymore. He's a 5/5 card now. I would say Sandman is the meta. There's 2 meta cards right now in pool 2 alone, and that is Leech and Sandman. Really strong. I think Leech is a little bit stronger. But if you have something that is getting close to a ramp-up deck, I'm not talking about pool 1 and pool 2 now, because that's going to be difficult, but just in general, if you have a ramp-up deck, Sandman is definitely the way to go. You can ramp up Leech, you can ramp up Sandman, just really strong, really, really strong. I'm going to make an in-depth guide on that as well. Alright, we have Scorpion, probably the most annoying... yeah, probably the most annoying card in pool 2. In pool 1 for me it was Cosmo, and pool 2 is Scorpion. Who doesn't hate it when Scorpion is being played and your cards are all gonna lose -1? It just doesn't look nice. It feels annoying. If it's being played on turn 2, you know, you always have these... You have a full hand, guys. You have a full hand and they're all gonna get cut down by Scorpion. It's just... so annoying. So I'm gonna put him into A tier just because of that. You know, every time I watch a movie and I hate that character, I'm always gonna go like, it's a good actor or actress. It's a good actress because I don't like that character, so they portray that character very well. And it's the same thing with Scorpion. I don't like that card because it's just so annoying because it's basically that good. So yeah, I'm gonna put him into A tier just because of that, because I just really don't like him. Shang-Chi is, for me, again, is gonna go into my controlling factor. Really, really strong. This card takes out every card in that location that is above 9. So if you have a really strong Patriot deck, which is pool 3 again, if you have a really strong Patriot deck or any other deck, Cerebro deck, Silver Surfer deck, which is pool 5, I think, or 4, and these cards are just gonna get massively boosted and stuff, and they reach over 9 power. This is possible with specific locations, Shuri's location or whatever. Shang-Chi's gonna kill the entire location. So I've won so many games with my control deck having Shang-Chi in there. He's just so overpowered. Of course, Shang-Chi is countable quite a lot, actually. You can use armor, you can use Cosmo, you know, you can move him away, the arrow. You can do a lot of things to interrupt Shang-Chi. But if especially in the lower ranks, pool 1 and pool 2, he's absolutely smashing. If somebody really builds up their Sunspot, just wants to make a high 9 powered, 12 powered, whatever Sunspot, you can take him out. If you have the Infinite, is gonna buffed up, take him out. If you have Warpath, I don't know how high Warpath gets. If it's to +8 or +9, I don't think this is accurate anymore. You can take him out. If Vulture is gonna get moved a lot, you know, and he's gonna build up its power, you can take out Shang-Chi. If you have a really good gaming sense, in the last turn you can literally guess where your opponent is going to play a high-powered card like the Hulk, or the Infinite, or a high-powered Collector, or something like that, or a Vision being buffed up. Shang-Chi is gonna take out that card. That's why I just think Shang-Chi needs to be in every control deck, and it's just so good. Alright, Storm. If played well, Storm is a very, very strong card, because you can lock out your opponent with Storm, or even force your opponent to play Storm there. One of the great methods could be Storm and the Collector, maybe, because, or Storm and Sunspot spot is basically one of the best combinations you have, because once that location is locked down where your opponent cannot play, Sunspot is there and he still is gonna gain energy if you just skip through the rounds, and you can win that location basically. So Storm, yeah, she's gonna be into 8 here. She's gonna be my front runner right now. So with Storm, if you know how to play her well, she's really good. Sunspot is probably, yeah, I don't know. If we don't count the meta, I would say Sunspot is the best pool 2 card. That's just my opinion. Losing out, like, we always lose out on energy, and it's so great to have a card there that you can play. I mean, of course, Sunspot always needs to be protected by armor, and that is a pool 3 card. Sunspot is gonna get downed a lot. Like I said, Killmonger can take out Sunspot. It's insane. But I'm just gonna put Sunspot here, to be honest. I'm gonna keep Leech and Sandman in front just because it's the meta right now, but Sunspot is just so good. It's a really strong card. For pool 2 in general, because you don't destroy that much, I mean, discard that much from your hand, I'm gonna put him into... Swarm is a good card. I mean, I don't wanna put him there just because I don't have a C tier card, but the thing is, I don't know if there's a lot you can do in pool 2 with Swarm, to be honest. Like, in pool 2 in general, there's no discard card at all. I don't know, probably there is in pool 1, but Swarm is good when you have pool 3 cards like MODOK, you know, cards that are good. Colleen Wing. This is where Swarm really shines. This is where Swarm gets really the hype that it can get. But in pool 2 alone, I think Swarm is not a good card. I don't think he's gonna do a lot here. Although I do love the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I really loved Swarm being in it, and it's a really cool character in general. I'm gonna keep him at C tier just because there's not much, not a lot that you can do with Swarm to discard your hand and make him actually useful in pool 2 alone, right? Let's keep that in mind. Alright, Collector. Yeah, again, good card if you are in pool 3, 4, and 5. I think now I'm just gonna put him into... Is he better than Ebony Maw? I don't think so. So I'm just gonna keep the Collector here. Although he's not able to be destroyed, he's somewhere along those lines between Morbius and the... I'm just gonna put him in front of Morbius a little bit. He's a B tier. Again, if you're in the later tiers, if you're in the later ranks, into the later pools, basically in Marvel Snap, the Collector is probably your go-to choice. But right now, I would say more not so. Not in pool 2, at least. Alright, now we have the good old Infinite. I don't know, I guess it's being played a lot in pool 2. I want to put him straight into the top of A, into the A rank list. again, he's destroyable by Shang-Chi, and you do have to miss out on the entire pool turn 5 to be able to play him on turn 6. Again, great synergy with Sunspot. If you miss out on turn 5, Sunspot is gonna get this 5 power, really strong, and then you can play Infinite on another lane. Really good. I'm gonna keep him in 8 because he's also very predictable. Every time somebody is not playing a card in turn 5, I know most of the time the Infinite is gonna get dropped, especially in pool 1 and pool 2. There's not much mind game going on. So the Infinite is, in my eyes, basically just right at the edge at A. But yeah, it's a good card. It's a very solid card, but it's very predictable. It's destroyable, and you have to miss out a high-powered turn. Turn 5 is probably the most important turn that you can have in the game. Turn 5, turn 6, super important. Vision, Le Vision is definitely A tier because you can move him whenever you want, but you can only move him once if you don't ramp him up if you play him on turn 5. He's a solid card, man. He's not like the best card. I'm gonna put him into A tier because you can still move him around if you made a mistake or somebody plays something and you want to still switch it up. It can win you games. I'm gonna put him right here. I don't think he's an S tier yet. Because it's pool 2 we're talking about. If we had pool 3, 4, and 5, Vision, you can actually ramp him up and play him in turn 4. Sometimes you're so lucky you can play him on turn 3. Yeah, it's possible. So that is really strong. But pool 2, you can only play him in turn 5. There's no way of ramping up, right? That's why we keep him in A tier. We have Vulture. Vulture, again, movement deck. I'm gonna see, I don't know. Yeah, I think he's gonna go into, because I think right now he's a little bit more useful than the Collector and Morbius. He's more useful than Okoye. He's more useful than Sabretooth. Sabretooth is gonna go down just a little bit, and I think he's also better than Rhino. So because he is kind of a very important card in movement decks. So I'm thinking about putting him right at the edge at A tier because Vulture, when he moves, he gets like what, +4 or +6 or something like that. So you can actually make a pretty big Vulture, to be honest. Like if you move him around, if you know how to move him around, like right, then you can do that. But again, in pool 2, you don't have so many movement options, do you? Do you? I don't know. Yeah, you have Cloak, so you can at least move him once. I don't know, man. Should I go for B or should I go for A? I'm just gonna go for A. Just for now. I'm gonna go over my whole list in just a second. And we have Warpath. He is gonna be a B tier character. Let me see. The good thing about Warpath is that he really has a pretty high output as a 4, whatever it's becoming, 8, 9, 10, I don't know. Warpath is really good, but you only have Warpath being good if one location is without any cards, and that makes him a B tier, a balanced character. He's not really that strong then, right? Because there's so many ways of making cards move, there's so many ways of giving a location another card. That's why I think he falls a little bit flat on this list, just because, you know, actually I'm gonna put him a little bit lower. Let's go. I think Ebony Maw is actually more worth than Warpath. I think I've done Ebony Maw a little, I don't know, didn't do him well. I think I'm gonna bring him into A tier. I've been looking at Ebony Maw the entire time. Like, you can do some good plays with him. Honestly, I think let's just keep him in A tier. And let's bring him up a little. I just have the feeling that Ebony Maw is just a little bit better than I actually initially put him into B tier. So I'm gonna bring him up into A, and that should be the final look at my tier list. Yeah, why do I have this stuff down here? Basically, I should have had... Oh yeah, that's because the cards were there, right? So I'm just gonna cut it right there. And that is what we have, guys. This is the tier list that I came up with right now. It might change in the future. I might make a new tier list every month, you know, or something like that, just to see if something changes. And tell me what you think of this tier list. It's just something that I think seems correct, because I've played every single card in there almost, except Nakia. But other than that, I think I've played probably every single card in here. I've built decks around every single card, and it just feels like Leech is just destroying things currently in the meta. Sandman is insane. Sunspot is one of my favorite cards, and it's probably the best pool 2 card ever. Shang-Chi is in there. Killmonger is so strong, especially in pool 1 and pool 2. So yeah, that's basically how I would rank pool 2. Maybe I'm gonna make some changes. Maybe you guys think I'm an absolute, you know, not gonna say it, but just maybe I'm not really that smart. Maybe you completely disagree, and I would like to hear this. I would like to hear this because I always learn. I love learning. I love learning new things. And about you guys, you know, about the guys that watch my video, about the people in general. So tell me what you think of this tier list, if you kind of went with it, if you would have swapped a few things out or not. Tell me in the comment section below, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.